Hello guys, and this was definitely an explosive week in Russia and a week of good news for Ukraine. If I had to pick three best for me, I'd say the arrival of F-16s to Ukraine, now it's official, the destruction of Russian submarine capable of carrying caliber missiles, and the first golden medal won by Ukrainian fencing team. But there were many more actually, lots of fires and explosions on Russian oil depots in Rostov, in Kursk, a huge fire on rocket plant in Yekaterinburg. Russian Wagner group was severely decreased in Mali, and now they are appearing in Venezuela. Also, an important prisoner swap and a new peace plan offered by China and Brazil, which I don't like. So let me tell you more about these important events in just 1 week from an ordinary Ukrainian perspective. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, I love my country, and I invite you to join the channel and subscribe if you're new to see Russia defeated and to celebrate Ukrainian victory and protect the democracy in the world. Unfortunately, we live in very challenging times. So let's start with the good news. And today, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, confirmed that F-16s are officially in Ukraine, not 6 but 10. And I am sure soon we will have more vivid illustrations of their work here. I do have friends reporting they've heard the sound of F-16s in the Ukrainian skies, and it's easy to recognize because it is totally different from the one we were used to. So hopefully we will demonstrate maximum. Ukrainian pilots are super motivated and Russians are very afraid. If you look at the comments, for example, of the spokesperson, he's not the person of a spokes-org of the Kremlin Goblin, he says that, oh, this is very bad. Indeed, because this demonstrates the confidence and support of our partners and, of course, the fact that Russia is fighting with old Soviet crap. So hopefully many more F-16s will arrive in Ukraine and many more of the evil enemy's objects will be destroyed in the coming months. But even without F-16s, we do our job pretty well. And for example, on the 2nd of August, we have destroyed a Russian submarine, which is huge because this is a big submarine, which was considered the best in the competitions of Russian submarines. Yes, they have such BS. And no, it's not Black Sea Fleet, it's BS. So that's a borrowed idea from a friend subscriber. But anyway, this submarine is classified as Kilo according to NATO terms, and it was capable of carrying 4 caliber missiles and actually participated in combat operations against Ukraine, but it won't do it anymore because right now it was upgraded to a scrap metal or a reef, or there are lots of other options that you have offered in the comments during our stream yesterday. Also, series of explosions, perhaps caused by smoking on Russian oil depots, especially close to the front lines, and this is a strategy of the Ukrainian military. With inexpensive drones, we set huge oil depots on fire, and Russians then paralyzed for a long period of time as they need an enormous amount of oil products for the military, and they don't have this opportunity because we turn all of that in fire. And of course, the more destructions on oil refineries lead to problems with Russian economy because this is one of the main products of export, and now Russia has banned export of oil products, which is a huge achievement of Ukrainian armed forces. Remember to like the videos and share them only if you feel like sharing, but that's important because, you know, global media prefer other things. When for the survival of the democratic world, it's super important to remain united. Tonight, there were explosions in temporarily occupied Luhansk, and we have neutralized a machine building plant there that was transformed by the invaders into planned for the repairs of their military vehicles. It's quite easy to change, and unfortunately, the majority of the occupied Ukrainian territories are turned into depressive military zones and platforms for the logistics of the Russian army. That's why we continue destroying Russian air defense in Crimea, same as their military air bases there. For example, this week another S-400 system with 4 launchers was neutralized in the result of the successful attack of ATACMS or Storm Shadows on the location of this air defense near Sevastopol. Russia keeps bringing more and more air defense systems from its territory to the occupied Crimea, and we keep destroying it there. It works well as an air defense grinder or something like that, which I think is huge. It was really cool that despite all of these bad things, Ukrainian delegation participates in the Olympics and wins medals. And you know, Olga Harlan, who is the coolest Ukrainian fencer for me. And she was the one who did not want to shake hands with the Russian athlete in the World Championship on fencing. She was disqualified for that, but later allowed to participate in the Olympics, and she got first bronze medal. And today, actually yesterday, as a part of the team, Ukrainian fencing girls team, they won a gold medal. And I totally agree with the president of Ukraine, who said that the very fact that in times of such brutal and violent war against innocent Ukrainian people, we are capable of participating in the Olympics, representing our country that Russia wants to erase from the face of earth, this is already a great achievement. And please support Ukrainian athletes, watch our competitions. This also means a lot, because once again, we are not competing as an ordinary country. We are competing in very many directions, and the most important fight is, of course, on the front lines. But war is returning back home to Russia, where it actually belongs. That's my opinion, and I think that Russians can start protesting and understanding more about war only when it returns back home. Hopefully some volunteer movements will start appearing, even though I do not believe much in the Russian opposition or good Russians that so many people are desperately looking for. And I will tell you more when we touch the subject of the prisoner swap. But before that, I want to remind you that during this week, we've also set on fire a big Russian rocket plant in Yekaterinburg. Yekaterinburg is quite far away from Ukraine. It is close to the Urals and actually one of the centers of Siberia. Hopefully one day Siberia will become independent. And if you think I'm fantasizing, no, there were such movements in the 90s and even in 2014 for the liberation of Siberia, and actually they treat themselves often as a different cultural identity from Russian classical Muscovites. Perhaps once again I will link one of my favorite videos on this channel where I explain the reasons why dissolution of Russia is not a tragedy, because actually the Russian Federation consists of 22 national republics and Russia is just one of that. Only because of their censorship, only because of their imperial politics, many people outside Russia treat this huge territory of the Federation as one very similar zone, when in reality it's almost a continent. So anyway, I am proud that we are constantly protecting our borders, because Russian sabotage groups try to break through in regions like Chernihiv and many more. And for example, recently a big sabotage group was stopped in Chernihiv, even though they were backed up by drones and artillery from the Bryansk region. But no. And the same evil destiny was waiting for Wagner group in Africa, in Mali. You know, Russia controls lots of golden mines and other natural resources in Africa, looting the continent, and they send lots of private armies, and Wagner is definitely the dominant one, to control the resources and to pretend they are on some missions there. But during this recent fights between Tuareg and Mali military troops controlling the country, uh, they report probably lots and lots and lots of Russian Wagners neutralized. Some say 20, some say 80. Well, you can never be sure. It happens really far away, but they definitely suffer from the defeats, and it was very sweet to see Tuareg people with the Ukrainian flag. It's because they realize that Russia and Wagner Group brings troubles to Africa, and lots of Ukrainian special agents are working there neutralizing Wagner officers, which is important. But from what I read in the newspapers, after very fake elections in Venezuela, Wagner's appearing there. I don't know if I have any subscribers from this country. I'd love to know your opinion, but it looks like that Russia and China congratulated Maduro, which is a signal for me that something goes wrong in the country. Unfortunately, Russia, China, Iran, they are super interested in chaos, in strengthening other authoritarian regimes. That's why democracies sometimes have to be aggressive. I mean it. You have to protect your freedom sometimes with missiles, guns, and F-16s. And thank you for this F-16s, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It means a lot to me and all the people of Ukraine. That's why Russia's idea about like sending these Wagner groups to different corners of the world only demonstrates they want more chaos. They want a big war in the Middle East. I'm 100% confident that they back up lots of bad people and they want this chaos in different corners of the world, because then it's easier to commit crimes against different peoples. And that's why actually, of course, I do not support the idea of Chinese peace plan that they are trying to push through. They have united with Brazil, and they try to persuade that like 100 countries support this idea. This is a plan that neither Ukraine nor Russia likes, but of course it's more Russia-oriented. But most importantly, I don't think China cares greatly about peace in the world. It simply wants to demonstrate its strengths, to not to go behind the US, and of course to back up Russian interests. But you know, once I've read this wisdom on social media, I cannot tell you that I love quotes from Facebook or elsewhere, but still, it's said that never accept advice or critics from the people who do not live the way you want to live. And I actually, that's the way I cope with some comments. I only accept like advice and comments, and I think a lot about when I get it from the people I respect, from the people whose lifestyle I like, because otherwise it's just like toxic negativity. So for me, China and Brazil are not types of the countries that I respect the way they treat human life, freedom of speech, you know, diversity. So sorry, I hope that peace summit organized by Ukraine and its allies will bring more solutions. Personally, I do not see Russia's there, and I do not see good Russian oppositioners there, because those of you who observe these international relations might have noticed that recently there was a serious prisoner swap between Russia, the United States, and Germany, and many good people were released and many very evil people were released, including a professional killer, Russian professional killer, which definitely goes beyond any international agreements. I don't know, it's crazy. But Many were waiting for the comments of Russian oppositioners like Karamurza, but they started saying Putin is bad and people of Russia are good, sanctions are bad, which is totally wrong. If the country is run by a dictator, it is not only dictator to blame, and every day we witness thousands of Russian soldiers who come to Ukraine to rape, kill, and loot. If Russians bomb, Russians cheer up, Russians do not protest. So, of course, it's not just the Putin's war, but we have to understand all of these oppositioners are, first of all, Russian politicians, and they will, of course, push Russian agenda. For example, idea of negotiations. They are not saying what do we do inside of Russia to stop this war. They start saying Ukraine should consider negotiations to save more people because, you know, Russia is crazy. It is crazy that no one of these oppositioners actually speaks about the things they should do inside Russia to stop this war and stop killing innocent Ukrainians, Georgians, and other people, you know. Which actually does not give me hope that something normal is possible on the swampy territories of the Moscovia. If you want to see them defeated, join the community of the channel. Also follow me on Instagram, X, Threads, and Discord. All the links that you need are in the description of this video. Same as the link to our merch shop with lots of items that work well as reminders and conversation starters. And we have a new summer drop. Check it, you might like it. And most importantly, thank you for buying me coffees, becoming patrons and sponsors of the channel, and helping me film and write more. And thank you for everything that you do to support Ukraine, our people, and to support democracy and freedom around the world. These times are extremely decisive, and we have to remain united, confident, and fight. We have to fight. Slava Ukraini!